What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about ball pythons. Who doesn't love a good ball python, right? I'm not just going to do show and tell. I'm going to talk about why ball pythons are as popular as they are. So now most of you guys know that I work at New England Reptile Distributors, and Kevin McCurley was one of the originators of making ball pythons as popular as they are in the industry. So there's a few different reasons for this. First of all is the morphs, right? So we're going to take a look at a few different morphs just to kind of give you a small idea of why they're so freaking popular, right? The other idea is size, right? So ball pythons, when they first started coming into the industry from the wild, nobody really wanted to deal with them. The term, oh, it's just a ball python, was one of the most commonly heard things, because there were other things like black-headed pythons and Woma pythons and all these other things that were way more appealing, right? And it was also pretty difficult to keep them alive in captivity back then, believe it or not, right? A lot of times when you're thinking about like getting your first pet snake, you hear the word python and you think, oh my God, it's going to get so huge, right? We obviously know that's not the case with ball pythons, as I just showed you. So, and even if you want to go the route of tanks, you don't need a huge 55-gallon glass aquarium for an adult ball python. So, size is one of the key elements for why they've gotten to be so popular. This is Apollo. Apollo is my very first ball python. He's almost 16 years old, and he's an adult male ball python. So he's about the size of maybe like a 2 to 3 year old female. But he's not really getting much bigger than this. He doesn't shed super often compared to younger animal, right? So again, 15, 16 years old, and he can still fit in this CB70 drawer with no problem. So that's kind of equivalent to like a 20-gallon long tank, and he's cool with that. I actually kept him in a tank when he was a baby, because back then I didn't use racks. I didn't even know racks were a thing. We're looking at my CB70 rack. So CB70 tubs are about 33 inches deep by about 17 inches wide and about 5.5 inches tall, maybe a little bit taller than that. So we're gonna take a look at just an adult female ball python, just so you guys get an idea of what we're talking about for size. This girl just shed, which is great because she's also phenomenal. But so this is an adult female ball python. She is a 2016 animal, so she's 4 years old. She's closing in on that 2,000 gram mark. And I mean, you can see she's got space in here to coil up, do whatever she wants to do. Now, this is about equivalent to a 20-gallon long tank. If you want to keep something in a tank, you can certainly do that as well. When we talk about kind of breeding ball pythons, space is certainly a factor, and that's where rack systems really play. Now, male ball pythons, as we pretty much all know, are nowhere near as big as females, for the most part, until they get to be a bit older. So this is a 2018 pinstripe EMG clown ball python that I produced. And you can see this is pretty similar to a CB70 tub. This is a 41 quart bin, and it's about the same dimensions depth-wise. It's a little narrower on the width, but for the most part, it's about the same footprint. Now, this boy being about 2 years old is pretty close to fully grown. He'll certainly get a bit larger. He's around 800 grams right now. Males can certainly get some size to them if you push them, but I never push my males to get that big. So you can see size-wise, they don't really take up a whole lot of room. Okay, so when we talk about the business of kind of breeding and keeping ball pythons, right, the biggest thing is the mutations. Obviously, size-wise, they're not, a huge snake by any means. They're not a berm. They're not a retic. They're nothing like that. So size-wise, that's obviously already, awesome. So morph-wise is really, really what we're looking at. So the business of ball pythons really kind of comes down to the fact that we have so many different colors of them, right? So they obviously fit the niche of not being a big species of python. So that's huge. Whether you want to keep them in a rack system like this, or you want to keep them in something like a 20 or 30-gallon tank, you can do all of that. But when it really comes down to it, the mutations, the colors and patterns, or paint jobs as some people call them, are really, really what started to spark people's interest. So a little bit of history real quick. Kevin at Nerd was the first person to get 2 visual genes put together in ball pythons, and that first combo was the bumblebee, pastel, and spider. Up until then, nobody was really sure if you could do that with ball pythons. I think snow corn snakes might have already been around, the Anery albino, but those were even still a big deal back in the day as well. So we're going to take a look at some combos, and it's just kind of a glimpse of why they're so popular. If you follow people like, obviously, Nerd, Justin Kobelka, Brian Barczyk, you've seen some of the crazy reasons why people like to keep ball pythons. So we're going to start out kind of simple. I got a couple pulled out that I can just get right into here. So this is just a single gene clown female. So single gene mutations, obviously, these are our foundational kind of building blocks to be able to make some really insane combos. So if you follow people like Justin Kobelka, you've seen exactly what clown can really do. So it's been around for a while, which means we've got a bunch of different variations of clown, which is really cool. Another really awesome gene that I personally love is hidden gene Woma. So this is a pastel hidden gene Woma granite fader. Now she's getting ready to go into shed, but she also laid a clutch of eggs, so she looks a little still kind of deflated. She's only had 2 meals after laying. Just check out that color and pattern. So she was actually quite brighter. She's dulled as she's gotten older. So this is a few different genes kind of in it. And then if we go take a look at a hidden gene Woma combo like this, oh man. So this is a spot nose Inferno that is also possible het hypo. So this version of the Inferno, this breeder that produced this, that I bought this from, used the Goblin, which is just another kind of yellow belly, right? So super sweet, and that's what hidden gene Woma and its baseline, when you put to the right things, can start to do, and that is incredible. So looking at another hidden gene Woma combo, because I just love hidden gene Woma. This is an Inferno fader that I produced this past season, 2019 season, and man, he is smoking. So I mean, you're just starting to see just a glimpse of why ball pythons are so popular. And this is my baby rack here. So we're going to take a look at this girl right here. So this is actually a sibling, and this is Enchi bling yellow belly fader pastel, no heads. That snake is yellow, and the camera is not doing her any justice, I swear to you that. So with all these different variations, and we're not quite done yet, you can kind of really see why the business of ball pythons has been around for so long. This is, again, a pin EMG clown, and man, does he just look spectacular. So recessive genes are really one of those aspects of holding value. So if you understand genetics, you know that a recessive gene will only reproduce itself when bred to itself or bred to an animal that is carrying that gene. So that's where you hear the term het clown, het pied. So this is pastel, Enchi, yellow belly, calico, orange dream. And my goodness, is that a good looking snake. He's not happy with me at all for disturbing him, but check that out. Now you can, obviously you've got patternless white ball pythons, blue-eyed leucistics, black-eyed leucistics, piebalds, which are absolutely amazing, and so many other genes of ball pythons. So these are just a few of the reasons why the ball python is considered the king of the reptile industry. All right, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you liked it, make sure you like the video, and of course, drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'm going to be trying to upload more videos for you guys more frequently now that I have a little bit more time to do so. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at BrassmanReptiles, Twitter at BrassmanRep, and of course, make sure you go follow New England Reptile on all social media platforms. Check out our live streams on Twitch every Sunday and Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just be an awesome human. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.